I guess you could describe my typical day as very busy. And we're off to the project. My grandfather started the business. He's no longer with us, but so he bought his first excavator and got into the business. And I remember I was actually riding with him before my uncle actually started working for the business. I was probably 5 or 6. I'd go off to work with him on the weekends, and I just thoroughly enjoyed that. As my grandfather got older, he just decided to retire, and my uncle bought out the business. I think it was around 14 or so that I actually started working for my uncle. Here we are now, 14 years later, still doing the same thing. So I started with YouTube, I think it was in 2009, and I was just like, well, I just want to film what I do at work just to kind of show people, you know. YouTube is actually, I would say it has changed my life. I've had, like I say, I've met several very good friends off of it that otherwise I would have never met. So on the project we're working on up here today, we're building a road in to a farm. But today we're mainly going to focus on building a barn pad. All right, let's go on our quarter-mile walk. Find some equipment. So this is our access road coming back here. Everything's pretty far off the road, so we had to clear a path. They want to be able for 2 cars to pass, so it's going to be a 16-foot wide road that goes back here to a house lot and a barn that they're going to do, and it's going to have some pasture back here in the back. So we're going to build the pad level from this corner all the way across. So usually what we do is we'll come over here and find our grade that we're going to base off of. 6.7 is the number for that shot. And then we can determine from that on how much fill's got to be put in down here. Go over here and just kind of walk over the equipment real quick and get everything started up. Every piece of equipment we have isn't brand new, but we try to check over everything just to kind of daily maintenance so that, you know, you can catch anything before any major problems happen. It's good to check it every day, but once you run a piece of equipment, you can kind of tell what it needs. You kind of learn what it needs and does not need. And this machine here is 12 years old, and to this day it does not use any oil in between the oil changes, so I can't complain with that. A 12-year-old machine has got over 5,000 hours on it. So I check the oil in this, get this started up, and I'll do the same thing for the rock truck. Just kind of check everything, no warning lights up, and we'll move on to the next one. We're good on that. This simple task right here can destroy an excavator if you don't do it. It provides lubrication for all the pins, and when that dirt gets in there, it acts as like a sandpaper, and it'll just grind them down. But this kind of lubricates everything and keeps it where it doesn't squeal and makes everything last a whole lot longer. All right, we're ready to go now. The first thing you always do is dig over your idlers. Your drive motor should always be behind you when you're digging. That prevents a lot of a lot less wear and tear on all your undercarriage, because when you're digging, you have a whole lot more surface area on these idlers since they're just pretty much big round wheels. Your drive motors have all the sprockets on them, and that's what your track chains go into, and that's what propels the machine. All right, let's go dump this. All right. It's very wet, and without this truck, there would not be any hauling out here, because the old truck that we had that we were using for a site truck, it wouldn't, there's no way it would be working today. So without this truck right here, we'd be sitting at home today. So this truck has really saved us a lot of rain days. Since we don't have any radios in here, is where he wants me to dump the load, he'll take the bulldozer and park it. Now, when I'm loading the truck, I like to start at the back. It just seems like you can put a little extra dirt in there if you start at the back, because what it'll do if you start at the front and work your way back, the dirt will obviously, as you fill the truck from the front to the back, will just start rolling down. Well, it's a whole lot more efficient, because you're not wasting time swinging around. Say I had the truck behind me, I'm not spending another, say, 5 or 10 seconds a load swinging around. So at 10 scoops over, say it took 10 scoops to fill the truck up, you know, that's another 100 seconds, so that's a minute and 40. You average that all day long, that could end up to an hour wasted time just by simply not loading the truck right. We're going to haul all day today, so I mean, you figure, if you just did 10 hours, that'd be 60 loads today. 60 loads, and we're getting 20 yards of load at least. So what's that, 1,200 yards of dirt moved by 2 people in one day, put in place, is dug, loaded, hauled, spread, and compacted for 2 people. I mean, that's a pretty good amount of dirt that we're going to do today. So it's lunchtime, and we got a little bit of lunch here brought to the site. Oh, we had a little problem with the bulldozer. Hose busted on that, so we're taking care of that, trying to get that fixed. Yeah. Since that pretty much is shut down right here in the middle of the pad we're working on, and we can't move it, I'm gonna go down here and focus on clearing up all the clearing debris. Working up here, we've salvaged like 450 tons of logs that we've taken to the mill for lumber and stuff, but we dug a big, massive pit, and then we're using that. We'll put all the brush and stuff in there. All right, well, we got finished for today. And as you can tell, it's still nice and muddy, but everything went as good as we could ask for, considering everything that happened. So I'm gonna fill this up with fuel, and we're gonna call it a good weekend.